If you'll remember in my last video, me and my dad found this 1950 Packard that's been sitting for 40 years. We put some tires on it, dug it out of its hole, got it home, and we actually were able to get it running. I'll try it. There it goes! Woo! So here's an update on what we've done to it since. Look very carefully at the grill and the paint, how dull it is, and now look at how shiny the grill is. We use water and SOS pads that you buy for your kitchen to clean up grills, and the grill is in pretty good shape. Now the paint you can see is really dull from sitting for so long, exposed to the sun, and now we cut and buff it. We cut it with 1500 grit sandpaper. We sand it like water and 1500 grit sandpaper and buff it out. You can actually see the reflection of the forklift now in the paint. It's amazing how intact this original paint is. If you'll remember, the trunk was also full of crap. We sucked all that out with a vacuum, pressure washed it. It's looking pretty good now. And the back door, when we got it, was just as full as the rest of the car. I mean, just leveled with it, you know. It smelled gross. It was just terrible. Now it is much cleaner. Again, pressure washed, vacuumed out, doesn't smell anymore. Even spray painted the floor red to kind of just give it a little pep, you know. And for some reason, the dash was totally just out of the car. All the gauges in the glove box and everything was out. Not sure what that was all about. Put the dash back in. If you'll remember, the dash, for some reason, was all hanging down. On the ground here, there was rat turds and rat nests and everything on the floor. You couldn't even see the floor. So got all the floor cleaned up. Decided to put the dash back in, but as you can see, there's kind of like nothing in the dash. We don't really know what happened, because if you look at the gauges, all the faces look melted like there was a fire. And if you look at these knobs, see how these knobs look melted? It looks like they got hot and there was a fire, but it didn't burn the car up. Some of these wires are they look melted, or some of the wires are exposed. But it doesn't look like there was a giant fire, because how come the gauges aren't blackened? Or, you know, you can still read the numbers on the speedometer and the odometer. So if this caught on fire, I'm not sure you could read those, but the plastic is all melted. So I'm not really sure what happened there. But we put the dash back in and primed it, made it look good. So this will be a really good project for someone. I'm just continually amazed at how intact the paint job is, even though, you know, we're not really fans of this body style so much. The fact that this 60-year-old paint looks so good, you know, cut and buffed out is pretty amazing. So we got the motor to where it'll run kind of on its own now. So we'll go ahead and show you that. We got our battery here, and we got our wires going to our electric fuel pump. We got our fuel pump hooked up to our gas tank, because we don't really know the condition of the car's gas tank. And we got it running to the carburetor, which we haven't rebuilt any of this. We haven't rebuilt the carburetor, we haven't taken any of the motor. I mean, we haven't even taken apart the, we haven't even changed the spark plug wires or the spark plugs. We just cleaned the spark plugs. So, yeah, we'll see how it runs now. We got a 12-volt battery in it. So these cars originally came as 6-volt positive ground cars, but we put a 12-volt battery in it, and we put a 12-volt coil on there so that we can start the car with a 12-volt battery instead of a 6-volt battery and run it off that. So we'll put power to the coil and go ahead and give her a shot. Man, it runs so good. I mean, it doesn't have any kicks or noises. Water pump's locked up, but we're just trying to see how good it runs for now. It runs really nice. We'll go ahead and check the transmission, see if it goes into drive. Okay, so Dad's gonna go in there and stick it in drive and see what happens. Haha. That's awesome. That's pretty cool. Well, the transmission works. So after 45 years of setting, it runs, it drives, got it all cleaned up, buffed it out and all that. I think taking it as far as we're probably going to take it, I think what my dad wants to do is put it up for sale. This isn't one of our heartfelt cars, so to speak. We're big General Motors fans, so I think what we're going to do with this Packard is we got it where we want it, cleaned it up nice, made sure it ran, and I think the next thing we'll do is put it up for sale. So we'll see if we make any money on it.